To my channel RJ Trades. If you are new, don't forget to like and subscribe. So today it's a very important topic, right? A lot of people ask me like I'm losing money and why you are losing. So this is absolutely necessary. If you are losing money, you should watch this video fully, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why you are losing money while trading and how not to lose, right? So you gotta so it's not rocket science, but it's not like anybody can do it. The number one thing is discipline, right? So I'm gonna kind of talk about the 5 steps. So if you just follow this, you will be a successful trader. Again, I'm not gonna tell you to like buy this or that. I would suggest you to implement this in your trading and you will see the differences, right? So let's get started, right? So yeah, if you want to write down, please write down the notes, like bring your paper pen and write it down. So in trading, right, so let's start with the outcome. So in trading there's literally like 5 outcomes and it's pretty much in your favor, right? 4 of the outcomes are in your favors. You just have to deal with the basically kind of uh, make sure like you don't fall in the fifth one, right? So what are those? So let's get right. In any trading, right, in any trading, so I'm gonna write it trading outcome, right? So in any trading, so you enter a trade, there's literally 5 outcomes. One is basically big win, right? So you got into trade, you hit it big win. That's great, right? So you successful. If you're doing that, keep doing that, right? Now second one is small win, right? Well, something is better than nothing, right? It's a winner. That's good, right? That's still good. Now break even, right? So you can in a trade and just break even. That's awesome, right? You didn't lose any money. There's always another opportunity, right? Like trading, like you don't have to trade every day. There's, you gotta look for the good setup. You gotta only what you trust, right? So that's the fourth third one, right? The other one is basically small loss, right? That is okay, right? Like not everybody wins. If somebody is telling you he's losing, somebody is like, always winning, they're lying, right? Nobody like it's very complicated. There's news, there's tons and tons of things, right? Nobody can guarantee, but basically in a trading you have to make basically in your favor, right? Probability in your favor. How can you make probability more than 50%? That's all you are trying to do. And the last one is big loss, right? So all you have to literally do is basically don't have a big loss, right? Don't get into the big loss. If you have like big losses, you are wiped out, you are done, right? So basically you see like 80% is in your favor, right? Small loss, that's good. Big win, small win, break even, right? 80% of the time trading actually is in your favor, right? Just don't do the big loss. If you do that, if you just implement this, I think you will be like probably 20-30% better than what you are if you are losing money, right? So absolutely write it down and maybe just try to implement, right? Maybe go back to your trade and see, are you having a big loss, right? um, if you're winning small, that's good, right? If you're winning big, that's good. If you're break even, market is pretty bad, you're not losing. So keep in mind, right, these are the outcome, right? Now, so the other thing is there's literally like thousands of indicators, and you have a trend line, you have a EMA, you have a Fibonacci. There's thousands and thousands, right? People's are, especially newbies, they are like, what do I use, which works, which does not? I'll tell you, there's no holy grail in trading, literally. So basically like there's different indicator, you just have to back test it. Some work for something, some work doesn't work for something, but there's like indicators are lagging indicators, right? They are telling the basically what happened in the past. Nothing can forecast really in the future, right? It's really hard. That's why you don't see a lot of really advanced algorithmic trading, because it's not easy. It's really really hard, right? So basically like the thing is like you just have to play around with it. Like what works for me may not work for you, what works for you may not work for me, right? You just need to find your you just have to backtrack, back test and see what works, right? So uh, I mean, it's kind of easier to say, but you just have to find that. But the thing is, like, you can try, right? A lot of people I see is like they keep switching it. Don't switch, just at least just give it a time, maybe just study, just perfect that, right? I mean, I really like the price actions. I don't like a lot of indicators. I like the moving averages and basically trend line. That's all I do basically. But you mean maybe you find something really better which works for you. Just stick with what you have and have a plan, right? So if you do that, you will be already like a lot of people. What they do is like, hey, I mean, let's say this is like I think 21 and yeah, 1821 EMA, right? So basically that means like if it's 8 is above 21, that's kind of in a trending market. This is a trending market, so you basically, this is a downtrend, this basically started an uptrend, right? That's great. Now basically if you are doing that, you need to have a plan, right? You need to have a stop. So basically I'm gonna stop out if it crosses below 21, right? So maybe you got in here or maybe you got in here, doesn't matter, right? I mean, I wouldn't really get in here. I because 8 days a support here, right? So um, you got in. Now it just cross here second days, right? Now you should just get out, right? A lot of people, what they do is basically, hey, it's still kind of going up and I'm gonna hold it, then it goes down. It's like, hey, it's way down, I'm gonna maybe see one more day, and you are here, you're back to where you started, right? If you're in an option with the theta and everything, you lost a lot of money. So you need to basically, if you are whatever indicator you are using, right, you need to stick with it. Don't basically mix it, right? A lot of people I've seen is like they'll just look into the EMA, then it goes and they'll just do Fibonacci or something, and it's like, hey, it's just a little bit of retrace and it's gonna go up or something. No, you have to stick with it, right? So discipline is number one thing, right? So stick with whatever few indicators, whatever you, doesn't matter, like you could use anything, just perfect it. And once you do that, basically have a discipline, right? And the number three, right? So number three is planning, right? Planning is basically you need to plan for a trade, right? And execute that plan. Not like you just get in, hope it's gonna go up, and tomorrow it just like goes down. It's like, no, it's way too down, I'm gonna, it's gonna go up or whatnot, and it's boom, right? So what I mean by plan, I mean, plan basically means, I was just saying, like, so let's say, right, I mean, yeah, let's look into some, let's look at QQQ, right? Too much SPY. So let's look at the QQQ, right? So see, so QQQ made really kind of bottom right here. Then you saw that, hey, it's making, higher lows, right? It made higher lows, higher lows. So maybe you just had this, maybe, hey, this is like kind of doing as a support, so I'm gonna, you know let's say you are a trend line trader, right? So uh, you got in, maybe you saw, oh, it's making higher lows, so seems like it's kind of changing, right? So you got in right here, let's say, right? You are a trend, so you need to have, first things, you need to have a stop, right? First thing, you need to have a stop. I'm going to talk about stop and position sizing, but you need to have a stop. So where do you stop? So nothing is guaranteed, it could have just gone down, right? So you basically need to have somewhere around here, right? Whatever, I mean, depending on the position sizing and whatnot, need to have a stop. So if it goes here, you get out, doesn't matter, it may go just up again, does not matter, you got the small loss, done, right? So that's the, but let's say it's kind of going up, going up, going up, right? I mean, you could always like I mean, there's no one universal thing. Some people do, hey, I'm gonna take like 20% up, I'm gonna take 30 down, right? 50% up, I'm gonna take like 30% or whatnot, right? So now you are almost break even, or you're just playing with the house money, right? Now it's kind of going down, take profit, or absolutely, like if it break that trend line, you have to get out, right? You have to get out. I don't know, I mean, with the option, it may be profitable, it may not be, but at least you are not losing probably, right? So you need to have a plan. Keep, I mean, whatever you have, right, you need to make a plan and execute the plan, right? So that's the other thing. So planning, very very important, right? The other thing is kind of psychology. The most important thing is psychology. I mean, a lot of people's is, you need to, when you are trading, you need to be in a really good mind, right? A lot of times I see people's are, they're having a bad day, they try to take a trade, then it does not really pan out, right? So if you are not in a good state of mind, you'll probably mess up something, right? And also, don't revenge trade. I see people's like, hey, I lost 200, I gotta make that 200, and you end up like losing like 800. I mean, tell me how many of you have faced that. So if you are facing that, you gotta basically, take a break, right? You don't have to trade every day. I'm telling again and again, nobody has to trade every day. There's like 252 trading days. So if it goes, the opportunity always comes, right? A lot of people's like down, 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 and people were like, oh, it's done now. It's like stock never gonna go up, right? And you saw like a pretty good bull market, right? I mean, it was like 20 or 30%. If you measure it, almost. So we saw like 25% in Qs, right? That's pretty good. So that was pretty quick in a month. So you will get this opportunity, right? May go down, maybe go down even below that, but you'll get. I mean, and of course you can always trade on the downside too. So you will get opportunities, right? Now, the other thing is basically, right, risk reward, right? Risk reward. So what I mean by risk reward, so they call it RR, basically risk reward. So always in trading, right? So you need to have, is it the risk reward? Right, yeah. Yeah, this is the risk reward, right? So this is the risk reward tool. So for example, right, so here you're trying to enter right here, and let's say, you know so you're taking 3% risk, right? So you're taking 3% risk, your reward at least has to be basically 6%, right? Which kind of align with this previous resistance too, right? Like we hit it, then we hit it, right? So you need to have at least, right, I mean, I would say at least like 2 hour, right? You need to, if you are risking 3%, you need to make it at least 6%. If you do that, even if you lose half the trade, maybe even like 60, 50, 60% of the time, right? You don't have to win 100%. If you are actually like, you have a good risk reward, you can literally have like 30, 40% of basically win rate, right? Nobody has to be like 100%, 70, 80. That's crazy. All you need is like 40, 50% win rate and have a good risk reward. So basically, if you are losing, you're losing one, but if you are winning, you're making two, three, $4 or whatever, right? So more the better, of course, but I mean, at least have 2 hour, right? That way, basically, even if you lose two trades and you won one, you are kind of break even, right? So if you lose two trade and win two trade, you're already ahead. At 50%, you are already ahead, right? So it's basically, you need to have a good risk reward, right? Last but not the least, I'm going to talk about the position sizing, right? So position sizing is how much you take in a trade, right? I see a lot of people, I think that's again, like if you're really great, that's good. I mean, keep doing what you are doing. But I see a lot of people have like they enter into 5, 10 trade, right? It's like they are call puts, and they're everywhere, right? Again, you're really good, that's awesome. I mean, keep doing what you are doing. There's a thousand of traders a lot better than me. I'm always learning, right? But I mean, I would suggest, right, like have basically 2, 3 trades, right? Don't have so many trades, right? If it's working, of course, but not basically revenge trade. And position sizing, how much you should position. So basically, in every trade, you should be risking max of like 3%, right? That is kind of easier with the bigger account, right? With the smaller account, let's say you have a $1,000 account, won't really work, but at least like I think you can adjust to make it 10, 20%, right? Maybe, right? Don't I see like 1,000 and go all in, go home, right? No, I think with that mentality, there's really high chances you will basically lose everything, right? It's easier if you have at least 5 10K. So basically, if you have basically 100,000 account, you're risking 3K, right? You're risking 3K. If you have 10,000 account, you are risking basically 300, right? Yeah, 300. So you are risking 300. That doesn't mean risking 300 does not mean like you basically your trade is $300, right? Your trade could be $10,000, right? I mean, I'm just saying, not of course 10,000, that's 100%, of course. Well, it can be, right? If your stop loss is at 3%, you can enter basically $10,000 if you have 10,000 account. So basically what I'm saying is max you are willing to lose is 3%. One thing is with the option, it's really hard. You cannot really do that, but you just you gotta be a little bit, you gotta be a little bit open about it with the option, right? Like it doesn't translate exactly 3%, but what I usually do is I still have stop loss for even for option. I still have stop loss in a stock price, right? So of course I'm getting into option because of this basically this support, right? Kind of going uptrend right at the support. So what I'm gonna have is still same thing, right? So my risk is right here. So if it goes here, I'm out, right? Option does not necessarily translate to 3%. It will probably down 20 30%. I mean, depending what's you're in the money or out the money. I have a lot of videos on those, right? So it doesn't translate one to one, but the idea is same. So yeah. So yeah, if you implement all this, I think you can be a really great trader. If you have any more questions, comment, and I would love to hear your feedback. Thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and thanks.